Hey guys, how you doing? It's Andy Elliott. Look, I'm going to talk to you about something today that I'm hearing a lot of. So we all take trade-ins at car dealerships. And a lot of the times we get these trade-ins and maybe you have a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 car. And your dealerships are taking those cars and they're putting them on the websites. And what happens is, somebody sees one of these cars online and they make an appointment with your internet or your BDC department. And then they drive down to come look at it. Now what you have in front of you is you have a potential prospect to go sell, but they want a $5,000 cash car, $6,000 cash car. And what you do is that you grab that 2009 Toyota Corolla with 145,000 miles and you pull it around, and by the time they're done looking at it, they're like, well, that's really not what we had in mind. Well, here's what I'll tell you, okay? I'm gonna show you how to convert that customer and how to get them to finance a vehicle with you and put that money down if they're truly a cash customers. And I'm going to teach you that if you ask great questions, you'll get great answers, how to handle this and take that potential customer and not miss that profit, okay? So I want you guys to get your profits up, sell more cars, and I want you to see how you can do a cash conversion. Now look, if they want to buy that Toyota Corolla, that $6,000 car, that's cool, sell it to them. But guess what? More than likely, 9 out of 10 times, when people look at these older cars that are cheap, they're expecting to get a new car that's not new. So what happens is, even though it's pre-owned, they don't see it being new for them. So they'll leave and they'll keep looking around. You have that customer in front of you, I want you to convert them. I want you to turn that into a sell for yourself, okay? So how to convert a customer from a cash car to financing a nicer vehicle. So if you would agree for a second, right? Think about this. I'm gonna write $6,000. There's $6,000 cars that you have on your lot. And what do you get with a $6,000 car? Would you agree when they buy that car, they're probably gonna drive out of there and they're probably gonna have a maintenance payment each month, right? I mean, there's things that are gonna break. It's a machine, it's got 140,000 miles. Things are gonna break on it, okay? I mean, you can't sell it like you're selling a 2011 with 40,000 miles. It's not the same car, it has 100,000 more miles on it. It's gonna break. So what happens is, when they buy that $6,000 car, one of the things that I always see is that that customer was to spend, I don't know, $12,000, right? Instead of $6,000. How nice of a car can you get for $12,000? Guys, you got cars on your lot right now, probably got 30, 40,000 miles for $12,000. So what I want to do is I want to talk about 3 things that really I push when converting someone from a cash vehicle to a financing vehicle. Number 1, I'll always ask them. Now, guys, I want to ask you a question. I've got a bunch of vehicles, I believe, that I'd like to show you that'll work for what you're, obviously you don't like the Toyota Corolla. Don't worry about it, I've got another option, okay? But I want to ask you a question. On that $6,000 you're spending, are you taking $6,000 out of the bank that you physically have? Or will you plan on financing the $6,000 and creating a payment with it? Now that's pretty important, because if they say they're paying $6,000 cash out of their pocket, then you know that they're not making a payment. So guess what? If they were making a payment, then I might say, hey, let me ask you this. Obviously, what did you expect and anticipate that payment to be on that $6,000 when you go borrow it? Well, we got pre-approved out of the credit union for $6,000 and it was $120 a month. Well, here's what I'll tell you. That $120 a month payment on that 140,000 mile Corolla, I'm gonna tell you this, you're gonna drive that car and get out of here, and let's say you would have decided to buy it. Guys, you're still gonna have a maintenance payment each month. The national average, what it costs to maintain a vehicle that's currently out of warranty, is roughly in a small car about $1,200 a year. Guys, if I take $1,200 a year and I divide that by 12 months in a year, you're looking at $100 a month in a small maintenance payment that you're gonna have to be budgeting for on top of the $120, $130 payment you're going to have at the credit union on the $6,000 car. So I want to ask you a question. You're paying $230 a month and you're going to be driving a $6,000 car. Would you mind if I showed you a car you could have maybe a $200 payment on that more than likely wouldn't have a maintenance payment? Would that offend you if I showed you it that way? Because either way, taking the $6,000 car out of here, when it breaks, you're going to have to pay for it out of pocket because it doesn't have a warranty. Is that correct? Okay, guys, that's a way to find out about the financing. That's an easy way to convert somebody. Now, if somebody says, hey, I'm paying $6,000 cash, that's what I have, I always say this. Now, I want to ask a question, okay? I hope you don't mind me kind of probing into this, but do you have $6,000 only to spend for a car? I'm not asking you to spend more, but I'm saying if you drove out here today and the car broke down and it needed some repairs, do you guys have the money saved up for that, or would you have to go borrow that money? Guys, isn't that a great question? Because if they said we'd have to go borrow it, well, I'm going to tell you this. Look, I had a customer, I'm just going to tell you this. I use this social proof close, okay? Right here, social proof close. Okay, some of the top money spenders in the world, right? 99% of them have agreed that if you take a $3,000 car, $5,000 car, and that's your purchase price, and you wanted to spend cash for that car, if you drove it down the road and 6 months later the transmission went out and it cost $3,000, I'm going to ask you this. The purchase price was $5,000. The ownership price, what it cost to own, right, total, the $3,000 that you spent for the transmission plus the $5,000 on the sale price, would be $8,000 in total. If you put a transmission in a $5,000 car, does it make a $5,000 car become worth more money? Or is a car worth what it's worth as long as it has a working transmission in it? You potentially lose your $3,000 and still have a $5,000 car. What I'm challenging you to do for a second and thinking, if the top money spenders in the world are telling us that this is what's happening when people pay cash for small cars, $5,000, drive it 6 months, everything's fine, $3,000 spent on a transmission to fix it, guess what happens? You probably walked by how many $8,000 cars that were a lot nicer shape with lower miles you could have bought, but you settled for a $5,000 car because you were looking just at the purchase price and not the ownership price. So what I'll tell you is, whether you have $50 million and you only want to spend $5,000, right? Or whether you're spending $5,000 and you don't have the money saved up, I'm going to tell you, a $5,000 car, an $8,000 car, it's going to have a maintenance payment on it. And that maintenance payment, if it's $1,200 is what it costs, national average maintain a car out of warranty, that's $100 a month in a small maintenance payment. They are going to, if they say, well, we want to buy a $6,000 car because we have $6,000 saved, so we don't want to have a monthly payment. Listen, you're already having a payment now. So you use the social proof close, talking about the top money spenders in the world, 99% of them have agreed that, look, if you buy a $3,000 car, you drive it down the road, and the transmission goes out in 6 months, you spend $3,000 on it. Even though the purchase price was $3,000, the ownership price, the total money you spent, was $6,000. How many nicer cars could you have bought for $6,000 than for $3,000? And does it make the $3,000 car worth money, spending more money into it? No. So you're wasting your money and you're losing money. Guys, if money's one of your biggest concerns and you actually care about your money, here's what I'll tell you. Take your blinders off for a second, okay? And look at this in a sense of, you take a $6,000 car. I don't have many options to show you, but I can assure you that it is a machine, whatever it is for $6,000 you can buy, and it will break down and it'll have a maintenance payment. And I can show you right now a $12,000 car that more than likely will have 30, 40,000 miles, that won't be not broke down, will actually be a really good car for you, that we can do what? Spend the same money on. Because I'll tell you this, you either do this one in two ways. You buy a $12,000 car, and let's say they were paying cash for $6,000, they could put that $6,000 down, and then they could finance a $6,000 car for a $120 a month payment, but they have a $12,000 car in their driveway that doesn't have an ownership cost. Now look, at the end of the day, they were going to pay that same money anyways. Okay? That $6,000 that they were going to buy that car on, if they weren't going to have a payment, they're going to have $100 a month in a small maintenance payment on it anyways, upkeeping it. Isn't that the same money going out of their bank account each month? Yes. Okay. You might say, hey, listen, I want to tell you that you're going to put $6,000 right into a vehicle. Let's do this. How about you keep $3,000, right, for yourself. Go do something else with it. There's probably something else in your life you can spend that $3,000 on. Let's take a car, and I'm going to show you a better vehicle that you'll love, that'll be safer for the kids, that's going to get better gas mileage, and that's going to have way less mileage. And I'm going to tell you this, this $6,000 car with 140,000 miles on it, man, 60,000 miles from now, guess what? It's got 200,000 miles on it. Guess what? This car with 40,000 miles, 60,000 miles from it, it's not even be broken. It's going to have 99 to 100,000 miles on it. Guess what? You're still going to be able to get another 100,000 miles on it. How much farther is your money going, and you're really spending the same money? Now, maybe not the same on the purchase price, but the ownership part of it, what you don't get on a $6,000 car, you're going to be spending in other area, and what you get on a $12,000 car, you're not going to be spending in other areas. So I'll share this with you. If you really want me to do a great job and not be a salesman, but be just a good person to do business with, understand that what I'm saying is, I don't want to say just this car today. I want to say every car you buy for the rest of your life. So I'd like to give you good information, because the last thing I want is 6 months from now you call me and say the transmission's going out. So I'm going to share these things with you that they can put a little bit of the money down, They could put all the money down, and then if they were just financing the $6,000 and they were going to have a $120 a month payment down at their credit union, guess what? Say, look, let me do this. I'm going to show you a car that's going to fit your needs better, that's going to get you better gas mileage, that's going to be more reliable, that isn't going to break down, so you're going to have an uncomfortable time and inconvenience in the service station. And guess what? That payment of $120 you would pay at your credit union, plus $120 a month in a small maintenance payment, I can tell you that that same money you spend, I can get you a car that's 5 times nicer. Let me show you what it is I'm talking about, and in the end, it's your decision. Guys, this is how you take and you convert somebody from a cash car to getting them to finance a vehicle in your lot. Now, do I care about whether you get them to pay cash or finance? I don't really care about that. I'm talking about missed sales. I'm talking about you got a $6,000 car on your website, customer comes in and says, hey, I don't like it. And then you know what you do? You go run around for some other $6,000 cars. You realize you don't have anything that'll work unless you're lucky, right? And we can't rely on luck, we gotta rely on skill. And then you let them go, and you say, I'll call you if we need anything else in for $6,000. That's as good as you got. Remember, the difference between where you're at now and where you want to go is the gap that you have in your skill. If you learn this skill, how to convert a customer that's looking for a cheap cash car, because they're everywhere, into financing or buying a little bit nicer of a car. I just took a customer from a $6,000 car to a $12,000 car. And can I tell you this? Did I actually do the customer a good benefit by explaining that to him? Yeah, I did my job right. And guess what? If you're a high achiever and you want to do a great job in sales, if you want to have a great business and be very successful in life, don't we love helping people? Well, that's exactly what I just did. And I'll convert them and I'll sell them. And I'll sell them every single time. You can't overcome ignorance, okay? So if I explain this to someone and they say, well, I appreciate it, but guess what? I'm only going to spend $6,000 on a car. That's all I have to spend. Guys, the first time that something breaks on that car, who are they going to be calling? You? Someone else? Hey, this broke, hey, this broke, hey, this broke. And you're going to say, guys, it's as is, no warranty. I can't fix it. Remember whenever I sold it to you, I told you about that? And that's why I recommended buying a nicer car. You can say to them, listen, at the end of the day, if you're telling me you're only going to buy a $6,000 car, I wish the best for you. Fingers crossed, okay? If that $6,000 car, when you buy it down the road, that's the road you decide to stay on, and I've showed you all this, when the ownership costs start coming in, give me a call, okay? I'll trade you into something nicer. And remember, don't say I didn't tell you so, okay? I love people and I love helping you. It's my job to relay good information to you. So guys, take this, use it to convert, and then guess what? In your skill set, use it to strengthen yourself. I use the purchase price versus the ownership price close. I use the social proof close. Top spenders say that. And then also I put, you have a payment either way. Those are things that I talk about. I would highly write these 3 things down. Watch this video and get it down. And guys, I want to create and build the best salesman in the world, okay? This is one little way. And if you look at the pie, right, on some of the customers that are getting out of us or that are leaving, you take this little tiny block right here, and this is your cash car customers. And these guys are escaping, and they're going down the road. And more than likely, if they were to run into me, I'm going to sell them something different. And when you called to follow up on them 2 days later, and you said, hey, how are you doing? I just want to check in with you. They'll say, oh yeah, we bought a car, we love it. Awesome, did you guys find a $6,000 car? No, we ran into Andy Elliott, and we actually bought a brand new vehicle. Or we bought a 2011 with 60,000 miles on it that we love. We spent $12,000. What do you mean? You promised that you were only going to spend $6,000. I know, but he showed us the benefits, and he gave us reasons and excuses why we should spend more. And guess what? It made sense to us. So I don't care how much money you have in life or how much money you don't have. This is the truth. It's money justification. It's pure logic. So you guys take this and use it, and I promise you, when you increase your skill set, you're going to go farther in life, you're going to make more money, plus you're going to be better at your job, and your customers will love you more. Guys, have a great day. Crush it. Let's build the best salesman ever. Thank you.